Hi guys, I'm Simi B and welcome to day 4 of 100 Days of Making a Comic. Today I'll be talking about 5 fears that I had starting a comic. All reasons are connected to the problem of having self-doubt, so this video will be a prep talk for you if you struggle with some things, and for my future me if I feel down again. My fear number 1 is being judged and what other people think of me. I have to say I don't have it as bad as other people, where my family think it's weird that I like anime and draw a lot of it, or my friends laughing at me because I still like cartoon even though I'm over 20. I'm quite lucky that my friends and my family, they're quite okay that I like it, and I think it's a nice quirk of me, and they're actually really proud to have an artsy person in their circle, so that's okay. For example, with my comic that I posted last year, it begins with the title Suddenly a Harem. I personally find it very clever and fitting for the manga that I created, but when I think about a normal person reading my comic who has no idea of anime or manga, I would die of embarrassment. But there as well, I told myself, the manga that I'm writing is not for people who don't read manga. The manga is for the people that are in the same community as I am and enjoy the same thing that I do. But the thing I'm struggling with the most, and I know a lot of people do too, is not fitting into the society or the norm. My families and friends don't judge me for being an artsy person, but without saying, I still feel the pressure of my friends and family and other people, of their expectations, asking what I want to do with my life as if art is a phase or just a hobby, wondering why I don't want to study something more useful, and many more questions, but I think I don't have to go more into it. Back then I had a lot of struggle dealing with this kind of thing. But time after time, I started learning to not fear anymore the judges and the opinions of others, and thought about and focused more on the things that I enjoy and are important in my life. And when I felt down and thought that everything that I drew, everything that I created was kind of useless, and I was a useless creator and artist, I always tell myself, doctor saves lives, lawyers fight for justice, an artist inspires and moves the hearts of people. I always have to think about the times when I was younger and felt down. Anime and manga was there for me to always lift me up and to stay strong and to believe in myself, how Naruto would say it, and just think about all the joy and happiness that I can bring in people's life with my art. That keeps me up. Another thing is, when I was younger, I felt like I could draw really good, but when I got older, I saw younger people and people in my age who drew so much better than I did, and I felt like I was so talentless. It may be true that someone has a better eye to analyze the pictures, or has a better understanding of perspective, but it's not talent that makes you a good artist. You're a good artist if you stay consistent with your passion and do what you love and doing it repetitively. When we scroll on Instagram and see all these beautiful pictures of the people that we admire, we forget that they also had to start somewhere and they also made a lot of mistakes. And just remember all the nice things that they have posted. So the best thing that I think you need to do with this problem is to remember there isn't this thing called talent, and everyone who is being seen as a talented person, and to be a talented person, you have to put a lot of time, thought, and passion in your creation. And I promise you, if you draw 1,000 hands, I think your hand will look so much better than the first hand that you've drawn. The next thing that I feared was to waste my time doing a comic. Making a comic takes a long time and a lot of effort. Again, with the self-doubt, you tell yourself the story isn't worth it, that's not funny or not good, to even raise a finger to create it. Again, as an example, my old comic from last year. I jumped into making this comic knowing that I didn't have my full script and fearing that I'll probably fail making this comic, but what was important for me was to just jump in and start something. Even if the comic is crappy, even if it doesn't make any sense, even if it doesn't look really good, at least you made the first step, and when you finished it, or even if you didn't finish it, but if you look back on it, you can see the mistakes, tell yourself, oh my god, that was bad, but at least you can see it and can work on it and improve on it. The next thing is that you do want to make a comic, but you don't know where to even start, and you feel like a total mess. If you really don't have a plan at all how to start a comic, just start somewhere. Just start with something that you enjoy doing right now. If you're saying, I have a character in my head and I know what he will wear and what weapon he will have, draw it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just put it on paper. Or if you know any scene that you want to have in your comic, just write it. Just being inspired and just doing something on the comic motivates you to just create more for this comic and work on it. Because if you don't start or have something on paper, you can't look back on it and see anything that you want to change and edit. Because I tell you, if you write something down, you at least have something in your hand where you can work on. Even if you don't like the idea that you wrote down, you know at least the next step, and that is to improve on what you have written or drawn. And step by step, you can just build your own world, your own characters, and your story, and just improve on it. And the fifth reason is actually already mentioned in all the other categories, but I'll still make an own topic for it, is being scared of failing. We human beings don't like to fail or disappoint someone or ourselves or feel bad that we did something wrong. It's natural for us to stay in our safe zone and do the things that we know how they work. But how I said over the video in the other topics, we have to get used thinking about that failing is not a bad thing. True, it sucks when you fail in that moment and you ask yourself why can't you do it better? But afterwards, when you analyze your failure and your mistake, only there you can learn to improve on it. And that's what we're aiming for. To be very good in what we're making, we need to fail. As I often mentioned in my comic that I did last year, I totally failed that. For the 3 months that I've worked on it, it was really good. But I failed in so many parts of making the comic, and I was mad at myself that I couldn't create a comic even though I'm so passionate about drawing and making a comic. But after I stepped back and looked at the flaws and all the problems that I had with the comic, I knew how I should do it better the next time. Same goes for this challenge and the comic that I'm creating right now. I went into this comic and contest knowing that I could fail, but also knowing that I'll try my best, and even if I fail, there will be something that I'll learn out of it. This video is giving me preppy but also depressive vibes, so yeah. I hope I could lift you up a little bit with my stories and problems and suggestions. If that wasn't enough of prep talk, maybe you should check out the video that I posted yesterday. There I talked about 5 reasons why you should make a comic. If I was able to lift up your spirits, then I would be happy if you liked it, because I kind of feel like I didn't do that quite well in this video. Comment down below if there are other things where you struggle making your own comic, so at least I can try to motivate you in the comment section. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, it would be nice if you consider subscribing to my channel. And yeah, hope to see you tomorrow. Bye!